Could we all stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Cato, could you give us a prayer, please?
Father, we love you and we thank you for this day. We thank you for this new year that you have blessed us with, and we pray that your blessings be upon us in this new year. Lord, that you will guide and direct all that we do, that we may be pleasing to you. Lord, we just believe you to do some great things in this new year, and looking forward to seeing what you're going to do for us and for our town and our community. Be with our officials, watch over them, protect them, Father. Keep them safe, we pray, and give them great wisdom, we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Ms. Green, could I have a roll call, please?
Allen,
Yes.
Swisher,
Here.
Brandt,
Here.
Simmons,
Here.
Green,
Here.
Paprick,
Here.
Gibson,
Here.
Fox.
Here.
All right, adoption of the agenda. Everybody's had a chance to go over that. I need a motion and a second to approve it.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second, Gibson.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Approve or correct regular session minutes of December 16th, 2025, and special session minutes of December 16th, 2025. If everybody's good with that, I need a motion and a second.
Motion to approve, Green.
Second, Paprick.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Moving on down to committee reports. First up, we have Municipal Services and Personnel Committee. That's council members Brandt and Green.
Yeah, just to start off, we have our stormwater tip of the month. This month is always remember to shovel snow from driveways and walkways rather than spreading salt to reduce stormwater damage to local waters. Where water flows, everything goes. So I know there's times maybe you do really need to put down some kind of treatment, but try to shovel and remove snow as a first alternative as often as we can. At our last municipal services meeting, we had talked about setting another meeting up real soon. So I just talked with Randy. I know there's some vacation time that they're gonna be using, but, you know, Drew will have to kind of get together and see what your schedule is and see if we can work something out with them here in the next week or so.
Okay.
Address some items. Other than that, I don't have anything. Drew, do you have anything?
Not at this time, no. A little bit later, we'll have some more.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Brandt. Mr. Green? Property Finance and Budget and Audit Committee. That is council members Paprick and Fox.
As of 12/31/25, revenues are at $4,043,650, which is 27.85% of the budget, and expenditures are $5.4 million essentially, which is 34.82% of the budget. We have just finished our first quarter of the fiscal year, and finances are on track.
Thank you, Mr. Paprick. Mr. Fox? do you have anything?
I have nothing to add.
Community Development and Code Committee. That's council members Allen and Simmons.
Yeah, we got 7 permit requests for building, 5 for electric, and 5 for plumbing, for a total of 17, with $464 collected in permit fees.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Mr. Simmons, do you have anything?
Nothing to add.
Thank you. Public Relations and Public Safety Committee, council members Swisher and Gibson.
I have the summary for the fire department for December. The Marshall Fire Department responded to 6 fires in the city, 2 fires in the county, responded to 31 rescue medical calls, 2 hazardous conditions, no fire, 6 service calls, 4 good intent calls in the city, 1 in the county, responded to 3 false alarms in the city, 2 in the county. Total calls were 57.
Thank you, Mr. Swisher. Mr. Gibson, do you have anything to add?
No, sir.
Thank you. City Administrators Report, Mr. Kernan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple of items of interest. In the last couple of meetings, the council has asked for a meeting or some discussion with the leadership at the hospital regarding some of the issues out there. I was able to make contact with the board president on the 29th of December and, or the day before, and then heard back on the 29th from the CEO, who is offering to meet with interested councilmen to discuss the hospital. The mayor was copied on that email as well, so I'm prepared to help set that meeting however you want to handle it. If you want to appoint a small group or you want to meet as a group, you need only let me know, and I'm happy to kind of be the go-between with the hospital leadership. We're also trying to get, if you have not already responded, and I think most of you have, and I appreciate that, to the city clerk's request, we're trying to get a meeting together with the city council and IBTS for the 14th. And this would kind of be the prelude to what would eventually be the public meeting we're trying to have in January. And if you are available and you haven't responded, please do. We'd like to have a quorum for that meeting, and that's Wednesday, the 14th at 5:30 or 6. I'm not sure that they've committed to a time yet. And then finally, there's going to be some discussion tonight about the street sales tax, so I won't get into too much detail on that. But one of the issues that the committee has been working with Randy's department and my office with has been really tightening up those contracts that we put out every month for that street work. And as some of you know, this past year, we were actually able to collect liquidated damages from a contractor. We've got a meeting this Friday with our city engineer who's been developing some location-specific street standards. So this would be street standards regarding composition of material, depth, things of that nature that are specific to our soil types and temperature ratings and things like that. The reason for strengthening these contracts is because any area in these paving contracts where we leave any ambiguity kind of allows the contractor to make those decisions for us, and we want to get away from that completely. We were very successful this year. There's a couple areas, though, especially with the quality of the slurry mix that came in, we want to make sure that in the future we've got total control over not only the composition, but the ability to reject that on site if it doesn't meet our specifications. So hoping to get some of that firmed up here this Friday. Happy to answer any questions about these items or any other city business.
Got anything? Moving on down to my report, of course. I do not have a report tonight, Mr. Green, and Mr. Brandt. At this time, I asked Mr. Green and Mr. Brandt kinda to talk about the sales tax and just enlighten a few things, so you fellas would, do you mind doing that?
Sure. And I know Dan has a lot of the stats. He's been doing it for a long time, miles of streets and costs and stuff. You know, we've been talking about a street sales tax, or I have been, for the last year or so or more, just because we could see the need coming up. I don't know, for those of you that have been here, you've known about taking money from the sanitation fund and using that to fix our streets. And we've kind of come to those limits where we all agreed at council back then of when we were going to stop using those funds, because we needed a reserve in that account. We couldn't use past a certain amount, and we're there. We've wanted to put a street sales tax on the ballot for, I don't know, JD, you might remember, but certainly the last 3 times we could have, but there's always been a conflict. We didn't want to compete with the schools. We know that was very important. There were some other conflicts. And so we kept putting ours off because we could at the time. But I feel like we need to probably get something on there. Dan, did we send out that packet to everybody, do you know?
The comparison packet,
Yeah, that you sent me?
did that get sent
That
out?
only went to committee.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
We received a packet done very well. I believe, Anne Marie, did you do that? Okay, yeah, it was very extensive, talked about the whys, the do's, the don'ts, what we need to do to educate the public to get one passed. It was a timeline, which we're pretty crunched on our timeline, but we can always put it out there again. I've always said that I believe this is the citizens' town and we need to put it on the ballot, and if we don't get it, then we don't do any street work. I mean, it's just that simple. We don't have the money. So we don't want to do anything different really than what we've done the last 3 or 4 years. And as you've known, we fixed our streets. Randy talked about how we kind of go about deciding which streets need to be worked, and I know him and MMU will be working together so we don't lay a beautiful street and tear it up. There are streets that do need to be done that weren't done last year because of that reason. Was that correct, Randy? Yeah. So basically what happens is after the snow season, and we're pretty rough on our roads during that, Randy will go out in the spring and look at all the roads and grade them, not only what they look like, but how much travel they get on them. Is that correct, Randy? Are there more things that you do to determine, or?
We just gotta determine whether we need slurry seal or mill overlay. The mill overlay's way more expensive.
Way more expensive, yeah, so,
Slurry seal, it'll buy you, 4 or 5 years.
okay. As far as determining what streets are high, like, do you kind of go by most traveled first or high traffic areas?
Yeah, and then, we'll work with, MMU too, they have a 5-year, schedule where they can be put water mains in, and kind of work with them.
Okay,
So, yeah, we do have some streets in really bad shape.
so for those of you at home, Randy was saying that he gets the 5-year plan from MMU to see what roads and water line work they're doing, and then he puts that together with what he sees driving down the roads to determine. We're looking at spending, well, we have been spending $750,000 a year to do road work, and so that's where the half-cent sales tax came in. And I think we're guessing it'll bring in $1 million, $2, something like that, which will, as you'll hear later, the way we've worded this, it can only go to construction, reconstruction, sidewalks, curbs, and streets. And so that's all that money can legally be used for. We did that very intently and specifically. And we also worded it so there's a 3-year sunset, so that the taxpayer doesn't feel like they're locked into something where money's going to be wasted. We want to prove that we're going to do the work, and then we'd have to come back to the citizens if they approve the work and get another passing, so. But that's kind of the end of it for me, is just, it's time to get it on the ballot. It's time to let the citizens take control of this town and decide if they want better streets. So, Dan?
Yeah, just to kind of go over what I did last time, we're doing a $750,000 program, and we're doing about 7 miles of street, and we have over 100 miles of street in this city. So, a good aggressive program where we're gonna generate $1 million basically a year off of this tax will be able to get us 8, 9 miles, maybe 10, and we can turn these streets over and get them back in the way we want. So I think the 3-year sunset is a big thing. So, give us 3 years, let us show you what we can do in 3 years, and I think you'll see a lot of improvement, and it's needed. If we don't, and like I say, we're probably gonna come back, because we just don't have the revenue anywhere else. You can look at our budget, and you can't find money somewhere else, $500,000, $1 million just to move money over. So it's imperative that we get this done, and we're gonna do some public meetings and try to educate everybody as well as we can on the issue, and let them make that decision. So be more to come as we move forward.
And I also wanted to piggyback on what Jim was asking last time about this money coming in, and then we don't put as much money into the street fund. Well, it's just not possible with the way this is worded. It has to go to construction, reconstruction, curbs, gutters, and streets. So there still has to be general fund money put in for salaries and other things in the street department. So we're not going to take this money and use it for something else to And what Jim was saying is that money comes into the street department, and then we take money out of the street department and put it somewhere else. Well, that's really not feasible. When I looked at the budget, and Amy's here tonight, she can maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but there was $100,000 for street work, construction, reconstruction. I suppose that money could not necessarily be in the street department budget anymore, because we're gonna get a sales tax to do that. But that money then can go to equipment or something like that in the street department. It doesn't have to go for reconstruction or construction.
Right.
Okay.
Probably give us an opportunity to be able to take better care of our equipment.
That line item, whatever, do you know what, if you don't know what it is off the top of your head?
I don't know off the top of my head which line you're talking about, but.
Whatever the general revenue.
It
fund
said maintenance, $100,000 for
Is-
streets.
To the street.
But the project fund was empty because we don't have a street project this year because we didn't have any money.
Right.
But there was $100,000 for street maintenance, in the street department,
Oh, okay.
for street maintenance.
That was probably, I would say, street maintenance is just for when you're
Just
filling
potholes and stuff like that, yeah. So that money could go to, like Amy was saying, you probably couldn't hear at home, but, upkeeping our equipment, that's very costly, and other things in the street department. But by no means is this tax going to take money out of the street department. It's going to add to it so that we can be aggressive, like Dan was saying. Is anybody up here, I know you guys didn't get the sheet that Anne Marie did, we'll try to get that to y'all, but do you guys have any questions off the top of your head about?
A lot of, and this is for both of you, I know a while back we was talking about, we was getting away from just the Band-Aid fixes.
Yeah.
So a lot of this, if we do this, this will be mill and overlay, is that correct?
Well, whatever the street needs, I mean,
Yeah, it's wherever Randy, when he evaluates streets, but, you know, with additional funds, we definitely will be, I mean, we did, I think it was 1.2 miles of mill and overlay last year and 4.5 miles of slurry. So, yeah, we'll be able to increase that mill and overlay.
yeah, I think, Mayor, what you're getting at, is maybe mill and overlay instead of slurry or something, but I think at the end of the day, obviously, I'm not the expert in that, but if a street doesn't need milled and overlaid and can have good 5-10 years with slurry, then I think it's cheaper to do that and more cost effective. So I think what this money would do is just add to the mileage that we can do, like Dan was saying.
Yeah, on the mill and overlay, you know, we try to do that everywhere when it is essential, but we concentrate on streets that are high traffic and high load. Slurry is really excellent for residential areas. It gives you a nice, good-looking street, but it won't handle the truck traffic and things like that. So we do have to concentrate that in the high traffic, the thoroughfares that are used frequently in Marshall.
I do have a question, and Randy, you might be able to answer this, like, say the sales tax went on the ballot in April and it passed, just hypothetically. Well, okay, back up maybe a month or two during the whatever campaign. How far ahead could you all identify the exact streets that would be part of this program?
Well, we'll ride the whole town when we're, you know, starting here pretty quick, and, then we'll just have to prioritize streets, you know, 'cause some of them may be able to make it another year, you know, before.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm getting at is if it would be possible for the street department to have the plan for the exact streets that they were going to do, I think that would help pass the sales tax, because, you know, a voter would know, hey, I know exactly what I'm getting. They're gonna redo this street. I drive that all the time. Hey, you know, everybody drives that. So I don't know how the rest of you feel about that, but I really feel as specific as we can be going into it.
agree.
I think the unintended consequence is it might detour voters too. If it's not a street that they want, they don't see it as much of a need. I think ultimately what's trying to get passed is, you know, an all-inclusiveness of the city in the highest needed areas. Maybe that can be, I guess, represented somehow, that these are priorities, but you don't want it to become a location-based vote.
Right,
So
I agree, that could cut both ways, it really could. I just don't know anybody that would say that they don't want College Street fixed. fixed. I don't know. I mean, everybody has to drive.
Where's
by,
College Street, Randy?
I mean, is that up on the?
I think it's pretty high on the list, and we didn't do it last year because we put in the new pipeline. It's my understanding that it is on the docket
From 65 to Miami.
from 65 to Miami.
Or at the very least, you know, since it's gonna be, it'd be 3 years. I mean, if we could identify, say, some of the streets and, you know, I don't know. I may be wrong.
No, I know what I agree with what you're getting at. And I don't know that Randy can be specific, but I think in general terms, certainly our major roads are on that ticket in the next 3 years, College, Miami. We've talked about Miami in meetings before, by the school, it's getting really rough, and on past that. We all know College is in dire straits, so those two are certainly high on the list, now that MMU's done in there, hopefully, Tony. I mean, as far as residential streets, I think it gets a little nuanced, but
Right.
I think as far as telling the public, absolutely, those two main thoroughfares. I know Arrow we just did not long ago, didn't we? Didn't we fix Arrow recently? Okay. But yes, to your point, pointing out some of those really heavy traveled roads, saying these are on, they're in here. There's more than just those, but these ones definitely are in there.
Yeah, and if you could even, I mean, okay, it's gonna cost, you know, $1.2 million to go from Odell to Miami, something like that, you know, and here's how much that's gonna generate, here's how much it's gonna cost, this is what you're getting, do you want it or not?
Yeah.
If we can be specific like that, I think it helps.
I think, College from 65 all the way down, yeah, College to 65, Odell, that's probably, how much you think, is that a mile or two?
Well over a mile,
Yeah, I mean, that's probably $500,000 right there,
probably more than that.
probably more than that. Yeah, and that's kind of the point of why we're saying, hey, we want to be aggressive, because we do have long stretches, and College through there is going to have to be mill and overlaid pretty thick, because there's a lot of heavy traffic through there.
Miami Street, high school up there, it's
Miami by the high school, it's got,
some,
you know,
some, work done, you know, just starting to have some problems, you know, some problems, you know, we have to do that for.
well, part of the education plan, like you were talking about, is I do want Randy to have that kind of together loosely. I don't know that he can be really
Yeah, yeah,
specific,
yeah.
but at least be saying, hey, here's the areas that we're really targeting right now. All of them are on the docket. I mean, we have a lot of bad roads, but some of the major roads, we might be able to tell everybody that these are on our plan for the next 3 years.
Once we get them measured and, you know, then we kind of figure out the price on them.
Price of oil keeps going down, you'll be able to do more streets.
But we're gonna have to be awful aggressive with this, we try to put this on the ballot this year. Because it's coming up pretty fast, I
Sure.
imagine.
Sure,
So it's gonna have to be something we get on right away.
Yep.
We can't hesitate, we gotta,
yep,
you know, he doesn't know the exact number of miles of road he wants to get fixed this year.
yeah,
So we need to get at least that number, saying 5.2 miles or whatever.
Yeah.
Of roads in Marshall are to be fixed, or overlaid or milled, and that way people have an idea of what's going on. You know, if we just throw a half-cent sales tax on there, they're gonna go, well, what are they gonna do with it? You know, because that's always the answer to what everybody's saying is, what are they gonna do with it? So if we kinda give them an idea of we're gonna do 5.2 miles of road with this half-cent sales tax every year, then we should have something to fall back on.
we should be able to do between 8 and 10 miles if the rate stays the same.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think.
And if our ratio between one and the other
Yeah.
stays the same, so,
Yeah,
because the mill and overlay is about 4 times more expensive than slurry.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When do you start the process?
We're gonna start.
Contracting with the people and doing all that? I mean, when does street work really begin?
Usually we try to have everything out to bid, you know, by April.
April?
Sometimes we have had to have bid earlier than that. Give the contractors time to do everything.
That pretty much goes all summer then?
Yes.
Yeah, we've been trying to get it out earlier here over the last couple of years because, just because we've been running too long. We'd like to have a lot of this work done before school starts. That's our target. And, in years past, sometimes we didn't get it out, get the bids out, bids back, get the bids awarded as quick as we could. So the last couple of years, we've really been pushing to get streets evaluated and a bid sheet put out. He prioritizes after, and then he's got X amount of dollars in his hand, and he's got this work that needs to be done, and he has to set it, prioritize and say, these really need to be done. If we could give him 2 or 3 million, it'd be a lot easier job. He has to sit down and prioritize and think about the streets that can wait another year or two, or the ones that really need to work. So, it's a tough job for them to handle but they usually you don't ride and evaluate till February or somewhere in there.
Yeah, we'll probably start here in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, good.
Try to get them.
Yeah, and you never know what kind of winter you're gonna have and what the winter is gonna do to you. If you have a lot of moisture, freeze thaw, and a lot of that, some of these streets will blow up on you, and you just gotta do them. So you can't evaluate too early. You gotta kinda wait and see what winter does to it.
So I guess my follow-up would be that if the tax passed, we'd be ready to go. I mean, the timing would be
Oh, yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah.
Be ready.
Yeah, we put it out for bid usually in April or so, and, 30-day, something like that, so. But we want to get it awarded as quick as we can, and then the control that we're trying to get better on our contracts has helped us too, because we've had a couple of years where street work's done in August, October, because, the contractors push us back. But if you got a better contract that has liquidated damages in it, then we tend to get it done, so.
Yeah, and this, for the vote being April 7th, I think that will be, I know it's a short window to get this, get people educated. Specifically, everybody knows we need road work, but I think being that early, we'll be getting our bids about that same time, and so it should flow right in. It should work out really well. Yeah. And if it doesn't pass, well, put it on the ballot for the next one and keep doing it till it does, and the roads will just deteriorate till it does, I guess. Like Dan said, you can't find money when there is no money, so, yeah.
All right. That'll work. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Mr. Green.
Thank you.
Moving on down, we are at business from the audience. Limited 3 minutes per speaker. Any person, resident, non-resident, wishing to address the council may approach the microphone and state their name and comments. 3 minutes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rebecca Adams, and I am the president of Marshall Main Street. According to our requirements for the Community Empowerment Grant, we are to brief you on what we've been doing every quarter. We did miss the last quarter, so I apologize for that, but I just would like to let you know what we're doing as an organization. So we have a few updates. One that I'm really excited about is we are planning a multicultural festival for 2027, and this is to highlight Hispanic and Pacific Islander heritage in our community and other heritage and nationalities that we have as well. We are trying to work with the college as well, so I don't have a lot of specific details today, but I will very soon. We just had our first planning meeting for the event today. We have a lot of community volunteers that are very excited about this festival. I'm very excited about it. I come from the Southwest, so I can't wait for some great food and music, personally. And another update that we have, speaking of festivals and meetings, we have our next training event is going to be in February and in June. And so I encourage and welcome all of you to please attend if you would like. We have a representative from Missouri Main Street coming up here to give us some training to go along with our Community Empowerment Grant requirements. So we are halfway through right now. It's a 2-year program. We've already accomplished 1 year, and so this coming year, our goals and objectives are to focus on the requirements that we already have laid out by them, as well as some of the extra fun things that we're doing, such as the festival and the hanging flower baskets again this year. And it looks like that's about it, except for our new website that is up and running now. So if you would like to look at what we're doing, it is marshallmainstreet.org. So I encourage you to please go to this website and see like what we've been up to. And if you have any questions, or if you would like more information, especially with the site visit that we had last year, we have those documents that are going to be uploaded as well to the website. They're just not on there today, but that'll be uploaded in the next week. So if you guys have any questions, just please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Adams.
Rebecca, do you know when that meeting is in February exactly?
I do not have a date yet. I have emailed Ben White, he's the program specialist down there, and we are still waiting on a reply for that. He just got back, obviously, from the holidays, and so he's trying to catch up on emails. But as soon as I know, I will let you know. Would you like me to email you all? Okay, I will
Yeah,
let you know.
yeah.
And then again in June as well, I don't have a date yet, of course, for that, but
Okay,
those are 2 events. Just keep it on your radar, please.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's just me. I just want to say a thank you. I want to say thank you to JD and Randy. I know towards the end of summer, we were able to do some repair work on the creek that runs behind our property. They've been eating some of that away. They did a tremendous job. Cleaned it up great. Grass is growing back where they were at, and no more land is being wiped away. So we appreciate you doing that. We appreciate your help and all the man hours and time that went into that, because it was quite a process. But it's always good, I think, sometimes to hear a thank you.
Yeah.
So we want to say thank you for all your work.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Certainly appreciate that.
Anyone else got any good thoughts? Want to say something good?
Anybody want to adopt a street to repair?
My name's Doug Borgman. I'm with the Marshall Special Road District, and I appreciate everything that you all said about the streets and all. I know getting a tax levy passed is a worrisome deal, but I've dealt with asphalt, I've dealt with gravel. $1 million doesn't go very far. I know you're wanting to do the best. I mean, I'm in the same predicament that I'm wanting to do the best with the taxpayers' money. But I would really think about going to a 3/4 to a 1 cent sales tax. I don't know if that's doable. I mean, you might get a 1/2 cent passed easier, but talking 2 or 3 years down the road, you all think prices are gonna stay the same or something? They're gonna go up every year. We have a tax levy at the road district that sunrises every 4 years, and that 4 years rolls around fast. So your 3 years, I understand you're putting it out there to show people what you can do in 3 years, but it rolls around fast. If you go 4 or 5 years, I mean, maybe you don't get a tax levy passed, I don't know, maybe you do with 3 years, but I'm just giving you my support and telling you what I know from looking at stuff that I do, that $1 million don't go very far. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I know, you know, come on, Craig.
Go ahead.
You didn't have a report, I got some free time. Great information. I think we looked at that, and JD and Elizabeth might be able to chime in. I think that it was illegal to go more than a 1/2 cent, was it?
I wish the legislators in Jefferson City would listen to the people who know what they're talking about. But no, they've capped us at a 1/2 cent.
Yeah.
Which means it's gonna be a real challenge.
Yeah.
You know.
But we did look at that. We were like, man, this is, but unfortunately, the way the statute's written, you can't do more than a 1/2 cent for that.
Yeah.
So,
It's fine, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Green. Anyone else like to say anything at this time? Okay. Moving on. We're down to resolutions. Ms. Green, if you would you read the first resolution by title only?
Resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Marshall, Missouri to execute a professional services contract with the Pioneer Trails Regional Planning Commission for grant administration services related to an economic development administration-funded stormwater project.
Everybody understand that? Okay. If so, I need a motion and a second to approve the contract.
Move to approve.
Second, Simmons.
Mr. Green, could I have a roll call, please?
Swisher,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Paprick,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Can I clarify something with that real quick?
Help yourself.
JD, are they writing it for us, or are they helping you write it, or are you working together? How's that?
No, the director of the RPC is here, Chris has, who wanted to be here to, if you had any questions. But in a nutshell, they've already helped us with the application. They helped us with the long, long process of going back and forth with EDA to try to keep the application alive. The administration of the grant is primarily a lot of reporting back to the federal government, keeping up on paperwork for the final audit of the project. And EDA anticipates that the regional planning commissions will run these. They're not telling us you have to do it, but they make the regional planning commission's fee for administering the grant, they make it eligible under the grant. So this will be paid for out of those federal funds. It really just allows the city to focus on the project while you have kind of an administrative specialist who knows the grant work, handle all the reporting requirements. That's really what we're looking at. And Chris, if I missed anything, please.
I'll come to the mic so everyone can hear me here. Yes, JD's got that dead on. We are the Economic Development District, federally designated one of 19 for Missouri. So each RPC, Regional Planning Commission, is a designated district by EDA, Department of Commerce. We've been working a year and a half more on this application, and it has been awarded for the improvements. So this next stage will be it's more than a year process typically to get some of these done. We're gonna be trying to streamline as fast as we can, but we will be doing all the administrative work, all the quarterly reporting, payroll reviews, invoicing, taking all those in for reimbursement back to the city. So we have dedicated staff. This is what we do. So,
Thank you.
I'd be happy to answer any questions. Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Green, could you read resolution number 2 by title only?
A resolution of the city of Marshall, Missouri approving a rate change of the Board of Public Works.
Tony?
Evening. Every December in our wastewater department, we review and recalculate our BOD and TSS rates, which is classified as an extra strength charge that we bill specific industries that deal in food processing or meat packing. So this is an additional charge on top of their standard wastewater charge that we do that. And the reason for that is those industries typically discharge BOD and TSS higher limits to our collection system. So the reason for these rates is to offset our increased cost to treat this at the plant. We currently have 2 industries that get charged this additional extra strength charge. Last year, it resulted in around $52,000 of revenue. After reviewing the rates and looking at our costs, I made a recommendation to our board last week. They approved a 2-cent increase in BOD charges, which was 27 cents per pound last year, increase it to 29 cents per pound this year. And we decided to leave TSS rates at the same because there was no increase. That increase to those 2 industries, if they continue to keep the same limits this year, is roughly $4,800 increase. So I'd be more than happy to try to answer any questions you guys have on how we calculate it, what we do. But it's a pretty simplified method. Yeah. Have to answer any questions.
And I guess just to be clear, it's not an increase on the citizens or anything like that. It's just those industries that produce the,
Yeah, so the purpose of the rate really is to, because with those higher limits, it increases our cost to treat the BOD and TSS at the plant. So to offset those increased costs, we directly bill these industries. If you didn't, then really your whole wastewater customers would be subsidizing that additional cost.
Right.
Yeah. So,
There's no like pushback from industry or anything, and they're okay with it?
no, it's pretty standard procedure, yeah, yeah.
Anybody else got any questions for Tony? You're good.
Appreciate it.
Okay, if so, I need a motion and a second to approve the rate change.
I move to approve the, go ahead.
you can second
Simmons?
it. Harold, I
Yeah.
move to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, may I have a roll call vote, please, Ms. Green?
Brandt,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Paprick,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Fox.
Yes,
Allen,
Yes.
Swisher.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
thank you, Tony. Moving on down, ordinances. Ms. Green, could you read the first ordinance by title only?
An ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city of Marshall, Missouri by rezoning certain real property from AG Agricultural District to IL Light Industrial District.
Good. If so, I need a motion and a second to approve the first reading.
JD, what property is this?
This is a piece of property that sits on Highway W, the blacktop. As you're approaching the old Butterfield campus, there is a, I believe it's an electric station or a lift station that MMU owns, kind of on the south side of the road. This piece of property sits directly in front of it. I want to mention too that although it's currently zoned agricultural, in our code, agricultural is largely a placeholder. And when somebody wants to develop a piece of property, unless it's truly being used as like cropland or something, it really needs to be rezoned. The road district has been kind of a model of exactly how this is supposed to work. They came to us and said, here's what we want to do. What is the appropriate category to rezone? They worked with our engineer, came up with the light industrial, and they've been very, very carefully moving through the process of working with the engineer, working with the stormwater engineer, and notifying DNR, and going through the process to make sure that they comply with all of the stormwater expectations and things like that on the property. So I also want to mention that the Planning and Zoning Commission gave this their unanimous recommendation.
I have a motion and a second to approve the first reading.
I move to approve the first reading.
Second, Green.
May I have a roll call vote, please?
Simmons,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Paprick,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Fox.
yes,
Allen,
Yes.
Swisher,
Yes.
Brandt.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on down to ordinance number 2. Mr. Green,
Yeah, just wanted to say something about this ordinance. We talked about the street tax. Wanted to add in there that the certification deadline, since it's coming up for April 7th vote date, is January 27th. Prior to this certification, the city clerk has to prepare and submit election filing documents, including certified ordinance language and any required legal publications. So with that being said, in our timeline, I know we don't like to do this, but I'd like to recommend that we do 2 readings tonight on this, if everybody's okay with getting it on the ballot, just to give them time to make sure everything's prepared and up to speed, so.
is everybody okay with that? We good? Okay, would you read ordinance number 2, please? By the first reading by title only.
An ordinance of the city of Marshall, Missouri, submitting to the qualified voters of the city a proposal to impose a 0.5% local sales tax for transportation purposes for a limited 3-year period, restricting the use of the tax revenue to specified purposes, prescribing ballot language, and providing for collection and effective date.
I need a motion and a second to either approve the first reading or take it to a second reading.
I move we take this to a second reading.
I'll second.
Ms. Green, could I have a roll call, please?
Green,
Yes.
Paprick,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Swisher,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes.
Simmons.
Yes.
Ms. Green, could you give the second reading by title only, please?
An ordinance of the City of Marshall, Missouri, submitting to the qualified voters of the city a proposal to impose a 0.5% local sales tax for transportation purposes for a limited 3-year period, restricting the use of tax revenues to specified purposes, prescribing ballot language, and providing for collection and effective date.
Okay. I need a motion and a second to approve.
And Harold, I think you asked this question about them not knowing what they're voting for. It may not say the street on the ballot language, but it will say sales tax for construction, reconstructions of curbs, gutters, and streets. Yeah, so they will have an idea, you know, like it has to go for that, but anyway, I just wanted
So
to.
in your language, it says 1/2 of 1%. Is that supposed to be 1 cent, a 1/2 cent, or a 0.5%?
That's just how it's worded.
Yeah,
JD can
it's
maybe.
a 0.5%. The language is cumbersome. We double-checked it with a municipal law specialist who's written this ballot language and stuff, and the idea is to make it clear to the voters, and I'm not sure that it accomplishes that, yeah.
No.
1/2 of 1%, I think you and I would say a 1/2 cent.
1/2 cent
Yeah,
sales tax.
yeah,
That's what I would say,
Yeah, and just to,
just to clarify it.
yeah, and just to reiterate, what Councilman Green was just saying with regard to the use of those funds, and about the third whereas, there is a, description of what section 94.725 of the Missouri statute sets out, which is a transportation sales tax trust fund, state administered but a municipally owned protection mechanism that these monies can only be used for the specified purposes in the ballot. Now, this is not an idle promise. I mean, this thing's got real teeth behind it. If the voters say it can only be used for street construction and street maintenance, then that's all it's gonna be used for.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. I need a motion and a second to approve the second reading.
I make a motion, we approve the second reading?
Second, Allen.
Could I have a roll call, please?
Paprick,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Swisher,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes.
Simmons.
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Moving on down to appropriation. Ms. Green, could you give the first reading by title only?
An ordinance making the appropriation for the payment of accounts out of the different city funds.
Okay, I need a motion and a second to take that to a second reading.
Motion to take to a second reading, Green.
Second, Simmons.
Thanks.
Could I have a roll call vote, please?
Fox,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Swisher,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Paprick,
Yes.
Gibson.
Yes.
Ms. Green, could you give the second reading by title only?
An ordinance making the appropriation for the payment of accounts out of the different city funds.
I need a motion and a second to approve.
I move to approve.
Second, Brandt.
May I have a roll call?
Allen,
Yes.
Swisher,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes.
Simmons.
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Paprick,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
Okay. At this time, is there any other council business that we need to discuss?
So the tax will go on the ballot. Somebody's gonna have to take charge and lead the education and the campaign, and it's gotta be done in a timely manner, like starting tomorrow.
I think it's already kind of started, actually.
Well, and I know, JD, we talked about, of course, we'll have some meetings on this too, still having meetings, and then you had talked about putting together some flyers and stuff, and I think the more transparent we can be and the more we can educate people, the better off we are. I mean, we don't have nothing to hide, we just need to do what we're gonna do. So,
Yeah, I would like to see, and I told JD this, I think, our last meeting, at least a meeting a month, and maybe we would go out to the Martin Center and get people on that side of town. We meet here sometime, we meet at a church somewhere or something, like we have 3 or 4 community meetings for people to come in and learn and ask questions. And so if we can try to hit all aspects of town between now and April.
And I think there needs to be, I mean, JD or whoever has to be like the contact person. So like if one of us has people come to them with questions that we don't know, okay, we'll send them to the, you know, or you know, if one of us says, well, there's a group that really wants to meet, who do we talk to? Okay, this, I don't know, mayor, if you want to appoint somebody, or is JD just gonna be the?
I think at this time right now, let me think about it this week, but I would like to put together maybe a little group of people. A committee, and then, get that put out. I think what I'm hearing is you'd like to serve on that committee.
Well, I will, yeah, I just wanted to get done. And then JD or Elizabeth, you may be able to answer this. When there's a school levy, there are always restrictions on what school employees could do as far as advocacy.
Yeah.
Is there anything that
Yes.
we need to be aware of, or you?
Correct. We are limited here, and I'm glad you brought this up because I was going to interject before we wrapped up. We are limited to just strictly public education. When the committee says to the public, we want the voters to decide, that's truly how this campaign is going to go forward. We're not going to tell you how to vote. We're going to present you with the facts and say, ask us any questions that you have, here's what we're looking at, and you know, hopefully guide voters to the decision that they feel like an informed decision. So yes, the key will be not necessarily telling people how to vote, but giving them the facts. And so that's where our work is going to come in, supporting all of you as well as getting this information to the public, is that we need to make sure that you've got all of your questions answered so that you can in turn answer questions from your constituents. And yeah, that work has already begun, and we're going to be giving you quite a bit of information. I'm going to try to make it as easy to digest as possible, but there's a lot of questions that are going to need to be answered, and I would like to arm all of you with that information just as quickly as possible.
Okay. I mean, is this the sort of thing, I'm only used to working, to be involved with like school elections. I mean, will there be advertising, you know, like?
It would have to probably be a committee from the public.
Okay,
that would
yeah, that's
have
what
to
I was
be
gonna
like
add,
it with
yeah.
the school, you know, some people from the community would have to take it upon themselves to get behind it and support it. We're not.
For
Just like,
advertising, yeah.
just like at school, we're not allowed to make posters or whatever at school. You're gonna have to do the same. It'll have to be an outside.
Nathan wants to make a poster.
Yeah, just to clarify, we were just talking about that. So, yeah, like a vote yes committee, like you saw with the sales tax levy, that's a citizen-based committee that's registered with the state to advocate for a particular outcome. On the vote, we can educate based on that. So we can essentially say, here's what this is going to do. Here's what we can accomplish with this. Here's what it's not gonna do, that sort of thing. But the type of committee that you're talking about, the vote yes, that usually is a citizen-based committee. And I think given the aggressive timeline here, there's probably not enough time for somebody to form that committee and get it registered and provide all the proper documentation. But again, I'm not sure that that's been the council's intention. I feel like the council, and especially the committee, has said from the beginning, let's let the voters decide. Let's give them the facts and let them decide, and that's the kind of campaign you're gonna see here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're still on the hook, Mr. Patrick.
You just
Mr.
don't have to
Mayor, I
make,
got
you just don't have to
a
make
couple phone
posters.
calls this week about people burning construction debris behind their house. I think I called into the fire department. I don't remember who I talked to. I don't know if they went and looked at it or not. What's the ordinance on that, or do we know what the ordinance is on this burning behind houses?
Sheldon, would you step up there and answer that one? I know at one time they used to have to come to the fire department and get a permit and all that stuff. It was,
Well, I don't want to put the fire chief on the spot because they did follow up, and they certainly are charged with protecting the community. But the issue with ticketing somebody on that issue, that's something that the police chief and the city attorney started working on as soon as you called. There needs to be a corresponding
Charge code.
charge
So
code.
the highway
Yeah.
patrol actually has this, the charge codes, they put that out, and then that's what we use when we're issuing and prosecuting. And there's an issue with there's not a charge code associated with some of the ordinance related to the
Right.
fires that we're talking about. So, but we are working on that issue and ways to address it in the short term, and then also coming up with a longer term solution.
Yeah, so chief has done his part, and now we need to do ours in terms of getting this, this charge code identified and getting the ticket issued.
But with Sheldon standing up there, if you want to, there's a procedure you have to go through to get a burn permit.
You're allowed inside the city limits to get a burn permit to burn natural product that is generated on your property. Tree limbs, grass, leaves, and that's it. Anything that is man-made or artificial, plastic, rubber, sawn lumber, construction materials, you are not allowed to burn it inside the city limits, and you're really not allowed to burn it out in the county. That's against DNR, EPA regulations. But we don't have any authority outside in the county. But inside the city, all you can burn is tree limbs, grass, and leaves. And you can get a permit for that from the fire department.
That's
But
kind
no construction material.
No.
Thank you.
That's kind of what I was wanting you to say about the permit comes through your department.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I got one yesterday, and I burned this morning.
Right.
I live on Eastwood, I have a lot of tree limbs, and it's a great process that y'all do, and it's good for a year.
The permit's good for a year, renews every January.
Yeah.
You get it for the entire year, and there's no charge.
And so, like, you call in when you start,
When I'm getting ready to start, I call the number on the permit and let them know that I'm getting ready to start. You should have a water hose right down where you're doing it. Try to be respectful with your neighbors because there is gonna be some smoke, you know, that kind of stuff. But, yeah, it's a,
The phone call is for us to let you know, is it too windy? Can't burn today.
Right.
It's too dry,
Yeah.
can't burn today. The burning time is only in the daylight hours, from dawn till dark, and has to be extinguished by dark. So how big your product is that you're burning, but you just can't once you get a permit, you just can't at will burn. You need to contact us so that we can advise 911 of what you're doing, so when other people start calling in, Mr. Brandt's lit up the neighborhood, what's going on over there? No, he's fine, we're aware of what he's doing, and he has a permit.
all right. Thank you, Sheldon.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
If it's not extinguished by the time the sun goes down, and, you know, it's stinking up the entire neighborhood and stuff, do you call the fire department and you all come put it out, or?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you've gone past dark and you're still, it can be, usually what happens, if it can still be seen, the neighbors or somebody else are gonna call, somebody driving down the street is gonna call. And that's when, part of when you notify us of what you're doing, then we can say, you know, the people that are just driving by and not stopping, yeah, we know what he's up to. So if it's not done by dark and we can still see it, the neighbors complain, something like that, then yeah, we'll come over and advise you to extinguish it. And if you need help with that, making that decision, we'll extinguish it for you. And then it's also kind of a review process then. Are you behaving yourself or you're not? And the next time you call in, you know, we're gonna advise you again on what the rules are and how to take care of that.
So I've seen Drew grill before. And it may look like out of control situation, so
We
just
can put him on a list.
lots of smoke, flames,
Grease fires are tough.
very overcooked meat.
Now, when I moved here, I remember calling you guys, we're not talking about fire pits, like in your backyard.
No,
Okay,
so separate from burning your yard waste, you can have a recreational fire, like in a fire pit.
okay.
Or chimney or something to that effect, where you're just putting in firewood, you're sitting around with the grandkids, a recreational fire, you do not have to have a permit for that. If we get a complaint or we find it out on our own that you're calling it a recreational fire, and you're actually stripping wire or whatever else you're trying to get rid of, then you go on a list. And then we keep our eye on you, and you don't get a permit anymore.
No, very good, thank you.
Thank you, Sheldon.
And one other question for you, I know that you guys are on the, we passed the fire thing, I'm sorry, hearing that, chief. How quick a timeline are you guys on for your, to move your facility?
It is a slow process. I'm wanting to have a shop built by next winter, and it's looking more and more like all the time that it may not happen by next winter.
Okay, well, I was wondering if that was something we should have maybe talked about moving to a second reading to get this approved so they could get moving. But I don't know if that's possible or not, or.
Yeah, unfortunately, with these land use decisions, we've got to go through the process, and we had this conversation right before the holiday. It is slow. It's made to be slow. It's made to be deliberative. It's made to provide plenty of opportunity for input from concerned stakeholders. And the state statutes really lay that whole process out for us. So I think where we can be most helpful is just making sure that we don't make any missteps now. And so that that once they get their rezoning approved and they start moving forward, that nobody has to go back and correct anything later.
JD, sorry, one more thing. I didn't, I should have said this earlier, but I am interested in you facilitating a meeting between us and the hospital. So whenever, you said that you could facilitate a meeting between the council and the hospital. Whenever you get that ready, let me know.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yep,
thanks.
will do.
Any other council business? Mr. Green, are you good?
It's bedtime.
Anybody else? Dan, you all right? Okay. Go ahead, Alan. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Green.
Second sentence?
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.